This is CBY, Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, your local Trinity Broadcasting Network affiliate, bringing to our valley quality Christian programming for over 20 years.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for Good News in the Valley, your local Christian news magazine. Now, the food service director of New Hope Catering is back to share some of her favorite soup recipes and talk about the Thanks Giveaway and the upcoming Thanksgiving dinner at the Union Gospel Mission. Then we'll hear a testimony from an individual that was changed through the New Life program, a ministry of the YUGM. Also, we have some information about Jeremy Camp and the Answer Tour coming to our area. And finally, providing children with a fun and safe environment during harvest time on October 31st is very important. So we'll be sharing some activities that the whole family can enjoy together. Debbie Carl, Food Service Director of New Hope Catering, is back to share some of her delicious soup recipes for a fall delight. Let's join Debbie and Heidi from the New Hope Kitchen at the Union Gospel Mission.
Hello, I'm Heidi, and we are back in the kitchen with Debbie, who is the Food Service Director at New Hope Catering here at the Yakima Valley Union Gospel Mission. Now, Debbie, before we get into what we're going to be cooking today, go over kind of what New Hope is all about and its connection to the Union Gospel Mission.
Okay, so New Hope Catering has had a little bit of changes lately.
Okay.
The Union Gospel Mission has just overgrown. We have had so many people here lately at the Union Gospel Mission, broken, hurting, needy people. So we are not going to take any more outside catering here at New Hope Catering. We are going to concentrate on the Union Gospel Mission inside our boundaries. We're going to help the people in the New Life program who come here to get off of drugs and alcohol and just with their addiction. They're going to help me do cooking for the Madison House kids, for the fundraisers, for the mission to help us keep running. They're going to come in here and learn how to cook, learn how to prep things, order. We also do our Thanksgiving dinner here, which we cook 2 big Thanksgiving dinners here for the Union Gospel Mission. We serve a complete Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday and Thursday in November. We also feed the Madison House children during the school year, Monday through Friday, and we do camp for 2 weeks in the summer. And I, of course, cannot do that myself.
Right,
so
definitely.
The men and women that work and come into the New Life program here, they come over here and they help me prepare the meals. We get wonderful donations from our community, so they help me go into the pantry, go into the warehouse, and we look for the wonderful food and prepare and plan the meals.
And like you said, New Hope does the Thanksgiving meal here at the mission, which is an enormous undertaking.
We fill all 6 of those ovens with turkeys.
Wow. So talk about the planning, the preparations, and the cooking.
So we make the stuffing here. We have a graduate of our New Life program, actually, that for the last 5 years has made the stuffing here at New Hope Catering for our dinner here at the mission, which is awesome.
That's so
we have
neat.
Potatoes and gravy. We make our own gravy. I made it last year. We cook all our turkey here. It's real turkey. We debone it. We have lots of help here from the program. We have the green bean casserole. We have lots of pies from an awesome community that donate pies, and you can't have pies without Cool Whip.
Of course not.
So it's a wonderful meal.
Right. Now, besides the Thanksgiving meal that the mission prepares, they also do give away Thanksgiving boxes.
Yes.
So talk about that project.
We call it our Thanks Giveaway. We give away 500 Thanksgiving boxes that you can go home and cook your own Thanksgiving meal. And this is for families, so people with children at home.
Right.
It's a raw turkey, it's the stuffing, potatoes, the vegetables. We give you a pie and Cool Whip And you know how we can do that? Because we have an awesome community that donates everything.
That's awesome.
The last couple years I've been here, we have had families that come to the mission with a pallet of pumpkin pie from Costco. God opens the storehouse and the blessings just flow.
That's awesome.
So our community brings us cranberry sauce, gravy, stuffing. It's all from our community and to the people in our community that need it, that can't afford to go out and buy the turkey dinner.
Right.
And it's wonderful.
What other areas do you need help in?
We always need physical volunteers, and not just on the holidays. Usually we have to turn away people on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I remember the first year I was here, I think there was as many volunteers as there were people, homeless people. It's like, oh my goodness. We are open 365 days a year, and we always need volunteers. We need volunteers on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on our food box day when we give away food for people to take home to help us organize and give away food. We have recycling, and we have medical and dental clinic, and we need volunteers all the time. So.
What about donations?
Donations of food and clothing, we're always open for that.
Okay, Debbie, now it's the moment we've all been waiting for.
Okay.
What's on the menu for today?
Okay, so today I'm going to do the baked potato soup, and I'm going to do my favorite chicken soup, and that's what I just call it, my favorite chicken soup.
That's perfect for the fall. It's getting chilly outside.
So I'm going to start. I got each one of them just a little bit started so
Okay.
that we can show you the whole step through. So with the baked potato soup, I do two kinds of potatoes. I
Okay.
do Yukon Gold and I do russet potatoes. And I get them cooking in water and milk, and I have the recipe written down for you. Get them boiling and get them just start cooking. I do a little bit of white pepper.
Okay.
I just like my potato soup to be white and creamy, because by itself it's good, but it's better with the toppings. The toppings are what make it. Cheddar cheese, pepper bacon, and green onion. That's what make it good. I have a teaspoon of my favorite granulated garlic. I use a little bit of granulated onion, and of course salt. And I already have my milk and my water in there. And my potatoes have already been cooking.
It smells wonderful, by the way.
Thank you. And I'm stirring it up so it's mixing well. A lot of the things I do thinking of my grandchildren, because it's always fun to do
Definitely.
things with your
Yeah.
grandchildren. I try to make some of my recipes so there's something they can do, because all three of our daughters cook with their children. So, you know, obviously when they're 3 years old, you don't give them a sharp knife. So you find
Right.
things that they can do when they're little.
Yeah.
They can stir, they can add the seasonings.
And it's fun for them, too.
It is,
Get
it's a lot of
involved
fun.
and- Yeah.
When I cut my potatoes, by the way, I cut some of them big and some of them small, because potato soup, you want some of the chunks to stay big,
Okay.
so that not everything's dissolved. You don't want it pureed, you still want some chunks. So now I'm ready to add the roux. And the roux is the butter and the flour that I've already cooked on the stove. And I'm just going to add a little of it. I'm not going to add this whole cup. Because
Okay.
roux you can save for a while. You can add it for something else.
Okay.
So I'm going to add that. Just about a half a cup worth. And we're going to mix this in and stir it up good, and then we're going to go on to the chicken soup while this is thickening, because this will be done and almost ready for you to taste.
My favorite part.
With the topping, of course.
Oh.
Okay, now we're ready to make what I call my favorite chicken soup. It's gluten-free.
That's great.
It is. It's gluten-free. You can add other vegetables if you like. I like it because it's kind of clean looking. So one of my favorite chicken broths is Better Than Bouillon chicken broth, and I just make 8 cups of it according to this, 1 teaspoon for 8 ounces. So I just have that started in here. And of course, what is one of my favorite ingredients? Fresh crushed garlic.
Oh, yes.
So I did this ahead of time,
Okay.
and I like to add 4 tablespoons of that to the hot chicken broth. Lots of times when you make soup, you know, sometimes people put soup in a crock pot and you let it cook all day.
Right.
This soup, I don't like to cook all day because I like my vegetables to be crisp. So if you are in a hurry, this is a fun soup that you can prep for the day before, and you can come home at night and just throw it all together, and it's so good because I like it because the vegetables are nice and crisp.
Right.
So years ago, and my father, being the awesome cook that he is, always told me that when you're going to use mushrooms, you don't want to wash them 1 or 2 days ahead of time, because once mushrooms get wet, they start getting slimy. So if you're going to wash a mushroom, you need to wash it and cook it and use it.
Okay.
So I've always peeled them, and it's fun to show your grandkids how to pop the stem out, and then you just peel them.
Oh, well, look at that.
Look
okay.
how, aren't they pretty?
Looks like they're super clean.
And so if you're going to do them in ranch dip, I just think they're so pretty. We like mushrooms, so you can slice them or you can quarter them. But for my soup, I just quarter them because we like big chunks of mushrooms. So we're going to start adding the vegetables to this soup. Do a couple cups of onions. And I love the Walla Walla sweet onions. I can eat them raw.
Yes, definitely.
And I do the celery, and I slice it diagonal just because it's pretty. I told you I like my food to look pretty. And then I did some spicy Italian sausage. I cooked that ahead of time.
Okay.
And that gives it a nice little bite and a nice little flavor. And I cooked my chicken breast in the oven, real easy to do that ahead of time. And I cut it up, and I put that in there.
Look at all that good stuff you're putting in there. It just looks fabulous.
It is really good. And I'm going to cut my mushrooms up here real quick. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk to you about gluten-free Parmesan cheese crisps. Those are really easy to make. When you're gluten-free, sometimes you feel cheated because you don't get to have the crispiness of a cracker or a piece of toast. And so you just take Parmesan cheese and you put it on wax paper. You don't have to put it on wax paper, but if you just spray a pan, it's harder to get off the pan once it cools. The reason I put it on wax paper is so that you can get it off easier.
Easy to get off, right.
When it cools. And then you end up with a little crisp. If you want to, do you like Parmesan cheese?
Oh, I love it.
You're welcome to taste it.
Oh my gosh.
And you could eat it with a salad, like a Caesar salad.
Oh, the texture is so great.
Instead of a crouton, it's kind of fun just to do something like that. So I have all these fun, fresh veggies and the chicken and the sausage in here. And I just like it to cook like for maybe a half hour. I have this really cool Ninja crock pot that you can use for a crock pot, or you can switch it over to high for a stovetop, which I'm going to do. And then I add about a half a cup of cream to this.
Okay.
Just to make it a little fattening. I don't know. Just like to make it, just give it that little, kind of reminds you of a zuppa toscana without the potatoes.
Okay.
So I was going to tell you a little secret about the crisp bacon on top of the baked potato soup. For years, I have always chopped my bacon raw and cooked it in the oven. It's so much easier. You let it start, you stir it a couple times in your oven on about 375.
Okay.
And then you stir it until there's no raw looking. And then you leave it and it'll start bubbling. That's called rendering, and it gets nice and crisp. Because whenever you serve bacon like raw on top of something in a salad or on top of your soup, you like it almost burnt but not. And then you just let the grease come off.
Okay.
Then I was going to tell you about the Parmesan cheese there. The Parmesan cheese crisp that you tasted that you like so well are so easy to make. You just pile your cheese.
They're fabulous.
And they're so easy to make.
The flavor is amazing. And you can do, like you said, any cheese?
You can do any cheese. The Parmesan goes to crisp. I've done cheddar cheese. I've done pepper jack cheese, Monterey Jack. You know what's really fun with the Parmesan is you can add fresh crushed garlic. You can add the dried chili peppers, the crushed peppers to make it a little spicier. You can do all kinds of fun stuff.
Wow.
And I make a lot at one time, and I put them in Ziploc baggies and freeze them if I'm not going to use them right away, so I have them on hand.
And kids will love this stuff too. So
yeah, it's an easy snack, and it's a pretty healthy snack for just cheese for kids that have.
Kids love cheese.
Yeah, they do, and you can send it in their lunch or whatever. We have to add one more thing to the baked potato soup. I like to add, after I've added the roux, and I've added the milk and the potatoes are all cooked and stuff, just to make it the richness that I desire in it, I add a little bit of heavy cream. And so this just makes it a little bit white, so it's a little bit whiter.
Okay.
Okay, and now I'm going to add my favorite part to my favorite chicken soup is the kale. I've cleaned it and I've cut it pretty small. And I don't like it to be real wilted, so I add it after I've had the veggies get just enough to be tender. They're just starting to be translucent, not wilted. And I mix that kale in. And then you have your whole meal in one again. You have your meat and your vegetables. So Heidi, the best part, I'll let you put your toppings.
Best part. Okay.
I do cheese, bacon, and green onion.
So do it in order. That's important.
Yep, and as much as you like.
Rich and creamy.
Good.
Oh, and the texture is just fabulous.
Very tasty.
This is amazing. You viewers at home need to write this down because you are a master chef.
Thank you. I'm just a cook.
It's just fabulous. Now, Debbie, before we close, is there anything on your heart that you would like to share with our viewers?
Yes, and I do have a verse to share. It's James 1:12. God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. So sometimes it is a test, whether it's us being tested or whether it's the people that have been on the streets and are frustrated.
Right.
But you know, if we endure it, there's a prize at the end.
There is, yes.
So thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Again, it's always such a pleasure.
Thank you.
And may God be with you as you prepare Thanksgiving dinner here at the Mission for many families.
I'm excited.
And may God bless you.
Thank you, Heidi.
I'm Heidi Schoaf, reporting for CBY. Skip, back to you.
Thank you, Heidi, and thank you, Debbie, for sharing some of those secret recipes with our viewers. And now we'll hear from Carla Smith, a life that was changed for Christ in the New Life program of the Mission.
I grew up here in Yakima Valley. I've lived here pretty much my whole life, on and off. I'm 41 years old. I've been in the New Life program for almost a year. I get to graduate November 2nd. It's been an amazing journey since I've been here. I'll just run through a little bit of my life for you so you know how I grew up and how I was raised. I was raised in a family that was, crime was okay. Drugs were talked about, they were seen. Drinking was normal. A lot of immoral value system. God was in the midst, but there was no relationship, no one-on-one, nothing ever taught like that in my childhood. I started using drugs when I was 15, intravenously. I started drinking probably when I was about 12. So I'll fast forward to the age of 22 is when I first went to prison. So from 22 to 33, I had 4 prison sentences. On my 4th prison sentence is when I really started a relationship with God. I remember when I was in jail, it was in July of 2009, I was at a service and the preacher was preaching and I felt like God had spoken straight to my heart, because I'd given my life to Christ many times before, and I never seen the change. I never felt the change. And this time was different. When I did it, it was like the veil was completely lifted off my eyes, and everything looked different. It seemed different. It felt different. So I went to prison, and I served 6 years and 89 days. And during that time of my last prison sentence, I really, my relationship with Christ growed, and it got strengthened. I got out of prison in August of 2015, and I didn't know how to live out here in the world for Him. I had developed a good foundation on the inside, but when I got out of prison, everything was worse than it had ever been, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and I didn't know how to cope. So I relapsed 10 months after my release. Chaplain Phyllis from the God Pod and her sister Nancy, they were in my life, and they directed me to come here because I'd went back to jail on a DOC violation, and I served my time on that violation, and they suggested that I come here. And the day that I got out of jail, the Holy Spirit said to me, "If you will lose your life for my sake, then you will find it." And He gave me the strength to come here, and I had to wait 2 weeks almost before I got into the program, but I made it. And I can look back now and I can think of how God's hand was so on my life, and He made sure that I got here. So I'm here, and this program's so amazing because it's helping me to dig out roots and heal places in my life that needs to be healed, deal with things properly. I'm learning how to live life on the outside and not just on the inside for Him. And I've gained a lot of strength and growth from this program. And I can remember a few months into the program, I was kind of struggling, and God gave me this scripture, so I'm going to share it with you. And it's in 2 Corinthians 12, and I'll start at verse 8. It says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take away from me. And I'll stop for just a minute. And I can remember that when I was out there using, I used to just cry out to the Lord. And this is what the Lord says: "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. So my hope and my confidence is in Him and what He can do."
What a great story. Another life changed for Christ. Now, coming to the Toyota Center in Kennewick is Christian artist Jeremy Camp. Check out the Answer Tour promo.
It's coming, The Answer Tour. Featuring Jeremy Camp live, along with special guest Royce Lovett. The Answer Tour with Jeremy Camp and Royce Lovett.
And now it's time for some harvest family fun. Let's start off with Thompson's Farms Pumpkin Patch in Natchez, where you can pick your own pumpkins straight from the patch. Kids can enjoy a corn maze, hay rides, pumpkin patch, cannon firing, and much more. Thompson's Farm Pumpkin Patch is open Saturdays and Sundays during October from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Take the family to the Harvest Festival at Country Mercantile in Pasco. Admission is $6.95 per person for ages 3 and up. Ticket price includes hay rides, mazes, petting zoo, face painting, and photo booth. Carnival rides, goodies, and pumpkins are sold separately. Open every day in October from 9 a.m. to dusk. Everyone loves a parade, and this time kids get to participate. Show up in costume and be ready to parade down Pennsylvania Avenue in downtown Cle Elum on October 31st at 5 p.m. Gather the kids and head to Prosser City Park on October 21st to watch the first annual giant pumpkin growing contest. Afterwards, kids partake in a scavenger hunt. Then try creating your own masterpiece pumpkin. Small pumpkins are available for purchase and ready to paint. Also, large professional painted pumpkins will be auctioned and awarded to the highest bidder. October 21st, Prosser City Park from 9 a.m. to noon. Christian Worship Center in Zilla is hosting a Penny Carnival on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. This is a fun family affair. Kids will enjoy plenty of games and candy and treats. There will be a trunk or treat for kids at New Hope Nazarene Church in Terrace Heights on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Come join the fun. Child-friendly costumes are encouraged. First Baptist Church in Union Gap is hosting a trunk or treat and chili feed on October 31st from 5 to 7:30 p.m. There'll be plenty of games and Bible stories for the children and fun for the entire family. Hosted by Harvest Community Church, kids can have fun with an assortment of games while enjoying candy and prizes at the Sela Civic Center on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Trunk or treat at Yakima Bethel Church of the Nazarene on October 31st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. There'll be lots of candy, hot dogs, and a cakewalk for kids and their families to enjoy. In an effort to keep children safe, the merchants in downtown Ellensburg are ready to welcome hundreds of costume kids with bowls full of candy and treats. Look for a sign in the windows of downtown businesses which indicate participation on October 31st from 3 to 6 p.m. The Warehouse Theater Company presents The Addams Family, a new musical and a sure delight for the entire family. Performance dates are on October 27th, 28th, and 31st, and November 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, with curtain at 7:30 p.m. For more information or to secure tickets, please visit the website. HUFFMAN Farms in Ellensburg welcomes families to come and experience life on the farm, where you can enjoy fresh farm food, a corn maze, hay rides, duck races, a petting zoo, pony hop races, a gift store, pumpkin chucking, and You Pick Pumpkin Patch. HUFFMAN Farms is open every Saturday and Sunday in October from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Yakima Evangelical Church is having a family affair on October 29th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. There'll be a chili cook-off, fun costumes and games, crafts, and a photo booth. This event is free of charge. Mountain Christian Fellowship will be hosting a Harvest Carnival on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. There'll be plenty of activities for the kids, guaranteed to be lots of fun for the entire family. Hey kids, time to dress up in your favorite costume and trunk or treat. This event is hosted by Trinity Family Fellowship on Saturday, October 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. Families are sure to experience a great time at this event. All aboard the Mount Rainier Railroad Pumpkin Patch Express. Passengers will read the book It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, while on their journey to the pumpkin patch. Every child gets to meet Snoopy and Charlie Brown and pick out their own pumpkin from the patch. For exact times of departure and pricing, please visit the website. Gather the family and head over to the Fall Carnival, hosted by Yakima Alliance Church on October 25th from 5 to 7 p.m. with free pizza, games, and candy. This is a family fun-filled event for all ages. The City of Pasco presents Costume Hayride on October 21st from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Meet in the parking lot of Douglas Fruit and hayride over to the farm to enjoy music, apple cider, and hot chocolate. Pumpkins are also available for purchase. Kids are encouraged to dress up, but not required to. Cost is $3 per person. Middleton Farms Fall Festival in Pasco invites you for some family fun. Open September 30th through October 29th on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Sundays 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Check out the website for different admission packages. Kids can enjoy a giant jumping pillow, 8 acres corn maze and night maze with flashlight, hayride, pumpkin cannon, petting zoo, and much more. Come to the Pumpkin Patch at Christian Life Center from October 15th through October 31st, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. to pick out the perfect pumpkin. Also on October 31st from 6 to 7:30 p.m., kids can enjoy a trunk or treat event. Bring the kids to Washington Fruit and Gift Shop at Barrett Orchards. Open 7 days a week from October 7th through October 29th. Families can join in the fun with a hay maze, pumpkin patch, hay rides topped with fresh apple cider. Pumpkins, apples, or cider are available for purchase. There's a trunk or treat sponsored by Nile Community Church at Jim Sprick Park on October 31st from 6 to 7:30 p.m. There's plenty of candy, hot dogs, cocoa, apple cider topped with a pumpkin cannon. Well, that concludes our program. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you and bless the man who keeps standing up for our flag, our country, and our God, our President, Donald J. Trump.